Hello and welcome back, Cryptic Core. I got to come up with a name for you guys. The Cryptic. We are here in the Cryptic Cave, the Cryptic Club. We are gonna do an unboxing, an unpacking, an opening. We are going to be opening the very first two starter decks. Here, I'm gonna turn on this light. Nah, that's too much glare. So, we're going to be opening these two starter decks. Super hyped. Um, I have two already unopened. These will be my, these will complete my play sets of each of these two starter decks. We have the red green deck, and then we have the amethyst. Sorry, I switched it up there. So we have the emerald ruby deck, and then we have the amethyst diamond deck, or green red and white purple, depending on how you categorize them. I like using the gemstones because like amethyst is a really cool color, as you can tell by the Cryptic Core logo. Um, but yeah, let's get into this. I am super excited. This marks the first part of the journey on this channel's kind of history. The first video that I uploaded, if you saw that, awesome. If not, oh well, you can go back and check it out. But excuse me. Um, it kind of told the story about my history, and I started out, well, whenever I started out. These two decks are not the decks from from that story. These are decks that I bought off eBay. I actually gave out the starter decks. That was something I didn't mention. Eventually, I did give out the starter decks from my little, from the the ones that the Bandai representative gave me. Also, part of the story that I didn't mention is the playmats that Bandai rep gave me. Now, I no longer have the Leave Wolf one, but I held on. We never had enough tournaments to get rid of the Magwo. I believe that's how you say it. Yeah, you can't really see that on here, so there we go. So the Magwo playmat, and then I have the Helbindi playmat. Looks like I kind of moved my camera a little bit too much there. Come on. Yeah, you can see my little mess there. Sorry, that's gonna bug me. There we go. That is good enough. So, why did I whip that out for bragging rights? I didn't. Um, so As you can see, I have a play mat tube. This is from BCW. The reason I brought out the mat, the reason I brought out this tube is it has a cool little compartment on the bottom, which fits here, which is perfect for storing core. So what I'll do whenever I'm unboxing this is I'll actually put the core from the decks in here, and then I'll put it on that playmat tube. I just thought that was a cool thing to kind of bring up because it's not something. Now there are other like more expensive playmats that have compartment or playmat tubes and holders that have compartments that you slide in and out. Usually those are for dice. I thought the BCI ones were cool because they're relatively cheap. They also come with 2d6s, which I thought was a nice little addition. It's not a whole lot, but it's really cool, and it's something that we Battle Spirit BS Battle Spirits players can use to hold our core so that we don't have like these little bags, these little bags that we have our core in. Which, if I remember right, there is. I'm gonna go with this one. I'm gonna open this one first. If I remember right, there is actually a Battle Spirits bag in here that's meant to hold the core. So on the back, we have the storyline here. Bam, there we go. So on the back, we have a little story. Your survival in the world of Battle Spirits determined by your mastery of core. These precious gems will determine your control over the spirits that inhabit the strange lands. Dragons, snakes, zombies, plants, animals, insects, and machines are at your command. Will you answer the call of the core? 48 game cards, 1 paper game mat. I added the paper to that, but they are paper. 1 game manual, and 15 core. That means with these 2 decks, I will have 30 additional core. Now, these core are super easy to lose, so I do recommend having them. I recommend having them like in some kind of container that's relatively good. I might have been wrong. This might not have come with a thing to hold the core. No. Oh, wait. Yep, there it is. Nope. No, it did not come with this. So I forgot how you got the little thing that holds the core, but we have a little survey, which I am honestly thinking about actually filling these out and sending them like a whole crap ton of Bandai. I'm going to check that address to make sure that that's still their address, but I thought it'd be hilarious if I just started filling like everybody who's buying the old Battle Spirits product, it would just go by and answer like, yeah, I love Battle Spirits, and give it to them. I wonder how they would like receive that with Battle Spirits Saga coming out. I'm sure they would somebody would get a kick out of that maybe. And then here's the paper mat. Each mat is exclusive to the deck. The artwork on these I thought was pretty cool. I'll open this, even though I have my Sharon mat. Now this is before so this is before the Soul Core. Now I noticed somebody was talking about like, I forgot what content creator, he made a comment about how like, oh, Siegfried back in the day, this card was so good. I'm sure, or he would mention like back in 2009, like it was definitely an old, like a card that was made like around 2015 or so. It wasn't made in 2009, that card, but that content creator was talking about how like, oh yeah, this was the main boss card. I don't know if he meant the original Siegfried or if he thought that specific Siegfried was the actual main boss monster, boss spirit, whatever you want to call it. But it definitely wasn't, because the one that they showed us in the Saga commercial has a Soul Core ability. Soul Core was not out until like, what, the 7th set? Don't quote me on that. I'm not pretending to know. I'm pretty sure it was like after Shonen Toppa-Bashin, but I don't know, like it was after Shonen Toppa-Bashin, I know that much. But I don't know when specifically they introduced the Soul Core. I do know that it wasn't from the beginning of the game, because as we'll get to here in a sec, the rulebook will say add 4 core to your reserve, not 3 core and a Soul Core. So Soul Core definitely wasn't in this. Also, you can tell the cores on here. There is no Soul Core those were introduced and handed out in those decks later on. So yes, if you're used to Soul Core, you're used to any of those like weird core-like abilities. I say weird core. Those like special core or special symbols that aren't the regular gems, those are not going to be in any of this because those are mechanics that came out later. Um, you know, synchros weren't in the first Yu-Gi-Oh set, right? Like, just yeah. There we go. Throw that off to the side. Sorry, I'm like off camera. There we go. Put that in there. There we go. Nifty little holder there. Okay. So first we'll go over the rulebook. That's a fun place to start. What is Battle Spirits? Welcome to Battle Spirits. Welcome to the world. So yeah, like this is pretty much everything that. Oh no, it's not. Battle Spirits is an exciting trading card game born in Japan. The key mechanic of the game revolves around the core system. Cores are used to summon and strengthen the power of spirits. They also enable you to cast spells and deploy nexuses to create dramatic changes in the battle. It is the strategic use of core. Sorry, I am like really bad at like holding this steady. Determine to change victory. Okay. So, I mean, I'm not going to go over a whole lot of the rulebook. As you can tell, all these are the card types that were in the original game. It was just Spirit, Nexus, and Spell. There were no Braves. There were no nothing like that. Gives you the layout. Okay. Well, yeah, so right there, number 5, place 4 core into your reserve. The modern game now states place 3 core and 1 soul core into your reserve. The game is super simple. If you ask me, this is a hot take, but I think that Hearthstone owes credit to Battle Spirits for their resource system. I know that cores don't really cap out, and the mana in Hearthstone does, but I feel like the every turn you get a mana guaranteed, and it comes from a pool outside the game. I think that is a Battle Spirits mechanic that Hearthstone kind of grabbed off them. I'm not going to go over the frequently asked questions. So yeah, like that was pretty much the rule book. I didn't want to go over it in detail. We'll do a how to play video. We'll do a how to play the video like with the starter decks. Um, in fact, if you check out Foyo Games, I did a how to play Battle Spirits. I didn't do a great job in that video, but Initial J, myself, and the content creator at Foyo Games did a video on how to play Battle Spirits, and you can find that on their channel. Now there we go. So this is an 8 cost, 3 cost reduction. The Armored Beast Baragilmar. Level 1 and level 2 during the battle phase, while your opponent controls no red spirits, this spirit cannot attack. For 1 core, it'll be at level 1 with 7k. That's pretty decent for a starter deck card back in the day. The fact that it cannot attack unless your opponent controls red, this was obviously made to like fight up against the red starter deck, and it was obviously Topa Bashin's rival's main card, Jay. I forgot his last name, but Jay used this card because he most often played against Topa Bashin. Also, in the first the first arc of Battle Spirits, there was no blue and yellow. For the most part, it was green. It was green, white, red, and purple. Blue and yellow came later. It kind of mimicked the way that the actual game brought it out. Yeah. So 0 cost Fogger, 1 for 1k or 2 to go to level 2 for 2k, which is pretty decent for a 0 drop if you're trying to rush, which I feel like purple really isn't trying to do. It's pretty good. But these starter deck cards were very decent at getting you started into building those colors. We have Skull Devil, 1 for 1k, 2 for 2k. It has 1 cost redux and a cost of 1, so you have 3 Foggers. You have them out, and then you have the 3 Foggers, then you play your 3 Skull Devils, and you just, ram face. I'm actually going to separate these. There we go. So, yeah, so I feel like a lot of early Battle Spirits was Rush. You had Red Deck Wins, which was named after the Magic the Gathering deck. So it was pretty cool. Here we go. Now this is more of a not so streamlined card. So this is Bython, a 3-drop, 2 cost redux, 1 for 2k, 2 for 3k for level 2. When attacks, draw a card. I really like this card for back in the day for what it was. Purple was mainly about trashing your opponent's core and removing threats from the board. But I do like the fact that there's a draw power on what is a destruction-based deck. This card, I didn't really play as much as I wanted back in the day, so my analysis of the game might be lacking. But a 4K beater, or not 4K, sorry, a 4-drop beater, which is what this is, wasn't my type of flavor, especially with only a 2 cost redux. I like to play fast decks, so I didn't really play Purple Control, but this isn't a horrible card for a for 1 core for level 1 or 3k, and then 2 for level 2 for 5k. That's all right from Call of the Core. Purple is a really strong, solid color. You had the 70 Shogun Desperado and Cheiron combo, which just was ridiculous. So anything in purple is gonna be pretty good, but since this doesn't have a control element and it's just a beater, I feel like not super strong. Ah, Draculus. So here we go. Now I was talking about beaters. This one I don't mind as much. It is a 5-drop for 2 cost redux. That means if you have if you have like a purple card, this card gets its reduced by 1. If you have 2, it gets its cost reduced by 2. If you have 3, it still only gets its cost reduction by 2. So minimum this card costs 3. Maximum this card costs 5. That is what the cost reduction is. Now the one next to the level, not level 1, but the one with the circle around it, that is how many cores you have to put on this card. So let's say you have no spirits on the battlefield. You're just going to play this card. You pay 5 cores from your reserve, and then you have to have another core to put on this in order to sustain it at level 1. If you do not have enough core for it to be at its level 1 requirement, then it dies. It's like its life force essentially. So there are later cards that have like 3 core to be level 1. That means if you only have 2 core on it, it dies. Unless you have something like to give it core, which does exist in the game. One of my favorite cards. I love White Rush because it is a defensive color, but it is so good. Like, white is amazing. Odin, arguably my favorite X-Rare, aside from Seven Shogun Desperado, just because I love the flavor of Desperado so much. But I have an Odin. I don't have a Desperado. Well, I have a Desperado, but it's from the demo deck. And if you know this, the demo decks are white border, and they were not allowed in tournament play. They were considered just, hey, try out this game. We're gonna give y'all like cards to try out the game, but they're not legal for tournament play because we're gonna give y'all overpowered cards. We're gonna give y'all like, sorry, I have a bad cough. We're gonna give y'all stronger cards so you can actually test out the game. But they're not allowed for tournament play. So like going back to Ice Droid, sorry, this isn't Ice Maiden, that was my bad, I misspoke. Ice Droid, a 1-drop cost reduction of 1. It has 1 to be for a 1k, 2 for a 2k. Now arguably,